Hi everyone, it's video 35. Yeah, and it's still Tuesday, the 9th of July 2019, and it's 10:27 p.m. I'm making another one, two in one day, because this morning I realized that I think I need to make these every day, because it's really a huge gift to receive these videos, the content, and I felt a little lost, honestly, this morning after skipping a day. So, not at the end, but I want to make sure that I'm doing all I can to expedite and maximize the value of these videos for us. Even right now, starting the camera, it took like 10 tries. It kept going. I started it, and it would go 3, 2, 1, and then back to the green thing, which indicates that that's the way you start. It wasn't a red one with a timer going. So anyway, tried rebooting the camera and then running it as the administrator. I guess that was it. I right-clicked on the icon on the desktop and said run as administrator, and maybe that had something to do with it because it seems to work now. Yeah. And what I have actually, this camera, I just set it on 1080 too. It was on 720. So it's on 1080, which is the maximum for this camera. It's called a Logitech HD Pro Webcam C920, if you're wondering. So this is video 35. Yep, and it's heaven at 9%. And today's July 9th. So we're going to kind of keep up with the days on July. It makes it a little easier. I had kind of a highlight today. I was sitting on the bus. There's lots of empty seats, and this person comes in and sits next to me. This is kind of unusual when there's empty seats in a bus that for someone who would sit next to you. But I looked at her, and she was just smiling so big. And just a super nice person. She's from El Salvador. And we just talked a little bit, and yeah, she travels a lot. She's 28 years old, and she's been to China, and I don't know where else. I didn't get into all that. But yeah, she's staying with 3 of her relatives that live in Glendale, and that was kind of fun. Anyway, and I was busy praying my prayer, which is I pray to end the suffering for right now for all people in the spirit world and the physical world, starting with those who are suffering the most. That's what I pray all day long, so I can stay connected. And it's a different realm. It's a good thing. It's helpful. So I'm sure. Anyway, so this is video 35, and we are progressing into the next level of heaven. Even though it's the same day, we get 2 gifts because we skipped a day, so now we get 2 gifts in one day. And today's gift this morning was realizing, or if it was yesterday, gratitude. Yeah, I did upload that. Yeah. Gratitude is a gift. A gift is to understand what our purpose of life, the purpose of life is joy and to share God's love in a family, and to return love to God by loving His children, and to realize that every moment love is expanding. That's a huge gift, and to feel that is heaven. Heaven is the state of, and that reminds me again, as I mentioned in the videos before, but it's been a while, and it's a good quote. So the quote was, if we feel true love for 2 seconds, we never in our life would ever leave it. Somehow we would hang on to it if we felt it for only 2 seconds. So that's apparently pretty powerful. Love. Yeah. So So how was your day? Did you have a good day? I'm sure you did. And maybe you just got up. Did you have a good sleep? Did you have some great dreams? I hope so. Something fun and happy. And today I was getting some idea. Oh, I wanted to. I watched this channel called Goon Squad. It's some brothers or cousins or friends or whatever. They're two guys, and they rebuild cars on the YouTube video. And they have millions of. They have over 1 million subscribers, and they're just super nice guys. They're super fun to watch their videos, and they come out 2 or 3 times a week. And oh yeah, so they just bought a boat now at the somewhere for $1,800. I think they bought it on Copart. Anyway, they live near Atlanta, Georgia. I think they live in Georgia. Or do they live in Tennessee? I think they live in Tennessee. Anyway, they travel a lot to go pick up vehicles when they get a good deal. So anyway, so I was thinking, oh geez, I'd like to do an electric boat business, and make. I just want to convert all things to electric in the world, so that no more gas engines, no more noise of gas engines, and no more pollution. Because when we get electricity in the wire, it can be from solar energy or wind energy or geothermal or hydroelectric or any of those, or wave energy. There's actually wave generation, electric generation plants in the world, and tidal. That's 2 different kinds: tidal generator, and yeah. So it can be 100% what do they call it? 100% sustainable, not re anything. It's sustainable. So we're not making poison gas by burning something for our propulsion, for our energy. So I'm excited about creating energy without burning fuels. So you have lots of dreams. We all have dreams. That's very exciting. That we're going to be able to be able to spend our time, just like young people. They seem to very often believe that they're going to become a millionaire in their mid-20s or earlier, and some do. Some of these people on YouTube, they do. Oh, and the money they make on YouTube is ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. So it got me thinking when I saw that, and I believe I'm going to be very wealthy. I mean, I would rather eliminate all money first, but if I become wealthy, that's fine too, because I'll be able to still, if there's a money system, I definitely want to be wealthy, so that I can, can restore the world back to happiness and joy and comfort for all people, starting with those who are suffering the most, and all the people in the spirit world, by making a world here of love and happiness that will transcend into that realm, and that all the people in that realm that come here can share in that joy and love and happiness and comfort when they visit their descendants. Yeah. So yeah. So whatever dreams people have, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. That would be what school, if there was anything to do with school, I would think it would be about identifying what is your dream and how are we going to make it come true. That would be fun. That would be a good class. What is your dream and how are we going to make it come true? And if they don't have a dream, then they can just go with their friends that do have dreams. Yeah. Maybe one dreamer is good enough for 2 people. Anyway, so as you know, the things I was thinking of in my journal, I'm really excited about happening. Actually, Imelda Marcos, who is still alive, I believe. I was watching some videos about her. She apparently wanted to use some of the money that her husband saved, and he got a lot of gold in his life somehow, and he was going to make a tunnel underneath the Philippines so that everyone could have cheap and fast transportation, which I thought was fantastic. Actually, that was one of my ideas before I found that out. That's one of my ideas in my journal that I wrote between Christmas and New Year's last year, and maybe a week or two into this year, is to have an undersea and underground tunnel system, like a subway that connects all parts of, and you can carry large items, and it'd be good for cargo and people, and you could take your motorcycle on there if you wanted, and because the roads are in need, the roads are in need, and so it would be, and very, very crowded. The roads are small and very crowded and not always in perfect repair. They have a lot of good roads, but not everywhere. Yeah, I think as you get further and further into the countryside, the roads get worse and worse, and then the dirt roads off to the side of the main road get some very big potholes, and there's no. And I was asking if a wealthy person could make their own driveway to their house or something, and I guess of course they can, but what I heard from my friend when I was in the Philippines is that the government has to okay that, and I guess only the government can work on roads or something like that. Apparently there's not very many wealthy people in the Philippines. I mean, I suppose there are, but anyway. So as soon as everybody has access to the resources that God put here for everybody, then everything will be solved. There are no problems when we hear from God, and we understand what God's goal is, and that's all we know, it's all we expect, it's all we create with our effort throughout our lives, is heaven on earth. So again, that's the basis of video 35, and that's a good reason to make a goal. That's the best thing in the world, is to center on true love, centered on true love, as Reverend Moon's pledges, the family pledge that Reverend Moon brought. They all say that. All 8 pledges end on the words centered on true love. So that is our destiny. That is our destiny and our hope and our plan. Yeah, that is our plan. And since God made us in His image, then we can make plans, and we can surprise God. Is that possible? If God is omniscient, which I think means knows all, everything, but then, when the fall happened, God went and said, where are you, to His children. He went to Adam first, because it was Adam's responsibility actually not to fall. And maybe Lucifer seduced Eve, and then maybe Eve tried to seduce Adam and did. But God came to, He called for Adam, and He said, where are you? Where have you gone? And it is because, according to Reverend Moon, is because Adam is the one who is supposed to uphold God's position in the Garden of Eden. Eden. Why would they call it Eden? Adam, Eve, and Eden. Eden. So since God didn't know, since God doesn't know exactly everything, God is omniscient. It says God knows everything. then I think we could surprise. I mean, maybe God doesn't know our choice, doesn't know until it happens what way a person will choose to go. So anyway, I think we can surprise God. We can make plans. Although I guess it's silly because God, our mind is one with God, and so God is sensitive to what we are thinking. But I think He would appreciate it. You know, if we talk about making that party for God, it doesn't have to be a surprise party, but we just say we'll make a party for God, and because when did we celebrate God's birthday? Actually, the Reverend Moon made the God's Day, which is the first day of the year. He called it God's Day. And then there's Children's Day. Maybe it's the Day of All Things, Children's Day. I don't know the order because I didn't, but I can learn. Day of All Things, Children's Day, Parents' Day. Is that right? Is there a True Parents' Day? There's True Parents' Birthday. That's on January 6th. That's when Reverend Moon and also Hak Jahan, when they were married. Excuse me if I... But anyway, there's more than one way to look at that situation, of course. So, and then there's, what are the holy days? Day of All Things. Children's Day. I could Google it, but I'm not online because I don't want the video to come up with some excuse like, oh, your video has lost connection. Your camera has lost connection. Since I've been doing these videos offline, had no problem at all. Of course, I was trying to start this video. It was kind of tricky to start today. But now I know I just need to go to the desktop icon and then right-click and then click on Run as Administrator after rebooting the camera, unplugging and plugging it back into the computer, into the USB port. Maybe, anyway, it's working now. But haven't had any problem with the video being cut short, which happened twice when I was online. So I just go offline before I start recording now. It's 17:34. So, of all the millions of things, I gotta click on the screen. The screen went dark right now. There we go. Here I am. Screens. I have one big screen. It's like 25 inches that I put everything on. And then I have my little laptop. It's a very small laptop. There's no hard drive on it. I mean, of course there's a hard drive. There's no, what do you call it? CD drive, DVD drive. Yeah, doesn't have a DVD drive. But anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, so let me put my slideshow up. And so yeah, that's really great news that we can plan. I think this video looks better. It's like 1080. It's wonderful. Oh, and I found out, I was kind of disappointed because it said 360 when I first uploaded the video, and then I read somewhere. I was watching a video on YouTube about how to set the camera higher. But apparently, when it first processes, it takes about 10 minutes to process a 30-minute video, and then to download it, to upload it from my computer to YouTube, and then it takes about another 10 or 15 minutes maybe to process it. And apparently, when it's first processed, it's not, it says 100% processed, and you can publish it, but it's not. It's still actually processing. The quality gets better and better, apparently. So after maybe another 24 hours or whatever it is, or less, then it reaches the resolution, the full resolution of which it's recorded. So that's wonderful. Okay, so dreams. What are all the great features of heaven? That's all. That's all we're here. Oh, it's like Moses, on the staff. He would put, and now I have in my file here, oh, that's one thing. Oh, that's one thing. I was going to that's one thing I did is on my file here, which I can access offline anytime. I'm putting all the good features of heaven. So that would be that all our dreams are the goal of heaven. We fulfill all our dreams in heaven by creating heaven on earth and in the spirit world. And so anything that you ever wanted in your whole life, that's God's plan. It is God created us to have those dreams, no matter what they are, even as to be rich. It's because money is a way, was given to us as a way to accomplish things. And it wasn't explained that money actually makes people slaves. The use of money makes the people that don't have any a slave, because they can't have food and they can't have the things they need, a house, and and then there's another agenda which I think is a huge evil lie, and that is karma. And we're supposed to, and the purpose, the reason that Lucifer created the word karma is so that people can believe, and a lot of people in the unification movement believe this, that the poor people in poor countries, they don't have they don't have technology because they don't have God. And personally, so that people don't pay no attention, because the devil wants to essentially kill everybody, starting with the poorest people and the poorest and the most the weakest, in any way, shape, or form, and then make all people hate each other, and separate each other. Matter of fact, that young person, that Harla that I met today on the bus, she said in her country, people, they work, but when they said after work they have fun. They don't come home and sit alone and watch TV or something. They get together outside with each other and enjoy their lives. And I said, yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. And I asked her, does she think that El Salvador's going to be okay? She said, yeah, she thought so. I mean, she wasn't quite that confident about it, but I just got the feeling that the news is here to scare us, because it's made by the devil. The devil made all the news channels and controls the TV. The military actually owns the TV studios. I mean, it doesn't own them, but it protects them. So, anyway, so, we desperately need love and happiness to come. It's time. The time has come for man to be reborn into love. And it'll happen to everyone. It's just a matter of hearing truth and it being the time and the era. We all respond to the era that we live in. We all are the result of things that are happening in the spirit world. Our lives are the result of things that are happening in the spirit world. So we appreciate God, and we enter heaven, and we meet more and more people that are like us. We attract those people that are on the same wavelength, the same vibration, the same. We attract people. Like that phrase, "Birds of a feather flock together." Okay, we're not birds, and we don't flock anywhere. Except sometimes we make like a flock. We make like a bird and get the flock out of here. Cute. So, yeah. And heaven is the result of God's desire. And now, since Reverend Moon came to earth and lived as a holy man, as a person, holy is supposed to be, holier than thou. That's a bad connotation, but everyone is equally holy. Okay? There's no one holier. We don't say Jesus. People that Jesus would never say, well, God is holier than I am. We are all here because of God's love, because of true love and God and family and heaven. So we have to be reborn to receive heaven. That's all. Because we were born into a world of, I don't say sin. I stopped believing in sin. And that's what separated me from, that's why I didn't go to church anymore, even though I never was much of a churchgoer that much, except when I was in the movement from 1975 to 1978, roughly, around February 1975 to around January. Was it January or February? I think it was February 23rd, something like that, when I flew from New York back to Oakland, and lived outside the church after that. But before that, yeah, I was a full-time member. Did fundraising all day for 2 years, and then all week. You know, it's a pretty, it was a wonderful experience. But then it came to the point, at the end of my fundraising career, I think I explained this, maybe I did. You know, you have a team captain and people, and then I just, you know, and they give you money for lunch, right? But, oh, and the reason they do that is so you don't get in the habit of spending the money that you make selling whatever it is. Flowers, granariums, candy, a multitude of other things, pictures, etchings, so whatever they call it, metal etchings, I forget what they call that. Anyway, yeah. So, but at the end I was just, you know, I had lost, I guess the time had come for me to go on to something different, because I had no respect for fundraising money anymore. I just spent my lunch money, and if I sold something, I'd spend that too. They immediately took me out of the loop. That's not part of the MFT tradition, mobile fundraising teams. Yeah, to go out and make hardly any money and then spend it all on whatever, lunch. Anyway, but most of the time, I earned quite a bit of money. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely did for the unification movement. Nowadays, the unification movement, I think they make the bulk of their money from contributions. It's called living. You know, it has to do with resurrecting ancestors. It's like if you pay. There's a condition. If you pay money, if you pay some odd hundreds or thousands of dollars, then you can restore your lineage to heaven. In other words, they in the spirit world will be resurrected into a good realm, which is wonderful, if you believe it. And I did for a long time. I'm not so sure I do anymore, but especially now, the Hyungjinim doesn't believe it. You know, they almost, anyway, he had a hard time getting his son back out of the palace, and then Mrs. Kong had to run away to escape them. They didn't want to let her leave, so she got out, and that's kind of, you know, that's kind of suspect activities in my opinion. But anyway, it's not for me to choose. It's for me to choose on my own behalf. But you know, I'm sure there's lots of reasons everybody has to do exactly what they do. And they seem perfect and good to them. So there's no reason to second guess anybody's actions. So heaven is a good place for everyone all the time. And we can do whatever we want. Whatever our dreams are, that's what heaven is here for. It's here for us to all fulfill our dreams and make every single person taken care of. I think the dreams of people that are closest to God is to save those who are in pain and suffering right now. That's what I think. I think God, if he could make a choice and make a priority, if God made a list and put number 1 down, it would say, please feed and house and clothe my children. Yeah, that's number one. You know, there's a definite priority on earth, and to believe that those people, well, they come from the devil, so and they're suffering because that's the karma. That's their karma. That's the most horrible lie of all. I can't. It's just hard to believe. It's the same thing that people are led to believe about war. That those people are evil. They're trying to steal our freedom. But this is all a big mind game. If you listen to Thomas Williams on the Truth, Honor, and Integrity show, yeah, he knows historically about all this kind of stuff. A lot of things that aren't heard, that I never heard too, even though I've been on the internet many, many thousands of hours researching as much as I can. But it's wonderful to hear what the man of world holding trust, the knowledge is from him and from Kim Yehogyun, and those are the two that I've heard from that are in the trust. Yeah, okay, this is a good time. We've finished video 35, which is Heaven level 9. Is that right? Wow, we're already at level 9. 9%, excuse me, Heaven at 9%. Alright, look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, or anytime tomorrow. We know one thing, it will be tomorrow. Even if I get home at 1 a.m., I'm going to make the video before I go to bed. I guess it seems like that might be important, so we'll see. We'll see. And thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and discovering more of heaven and how our dreams are coming true and how we are relating what everyone in the world is doing together into one activity. So we know concretely that we are one single family responding to God. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful night, and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.